Okay, good afternoon. Going to get going. So my name's Cliff Hill from Ectron. We're sponsoring the Content Theatre today. Ectron provide a market-leading web content management and customer experience platform. So love to talk to you about that. We're at the back there. These are some of our customers that use that platform. So as I say, come and find us a bit later. So anyway, I'd like to introduce Mike Mindel from Word Tracker, and he's going to talk to you today about thinking outside the box for search.
Great, thank you. Can everyone hear me okay through this? I can hear myself, but I don't know how far it's projecting. Can you hear it? It's everywhere. Okay, good. Okay, so my name is Mike Mindel. I'm the CEO and founder of Word Tracker. This presentation is called Think Outside the Search Box, and that will make more sense as I carry on talking. So why listen to me? Well, I am the CEO and founder of Word Tracker with the first industry standard keyword tool. We started in 1998, the same year that Google was founded. I've got 14 years technical and digital experience, and we've been around for 14 years, and we're still around. So I want to try and give you my thoughts on where search is at the moment, search data, and what you can do to get better keywords for your business. So this is the key idea right here. We believe that markets reveal themselves through words. And I think that's just quite an interesting idea, and it just needs a bit of grokking, a bit of thinking about. Because normally, offline, in the real world, markets are places where people trade and goods and services are exchanged, right? So you think of Camden Market, and that is a physical location where a market happens, where you buy trinkets, where you buy shirts that don't make them through the second wash, which I've done a few times. And this is like a physical location. The thing is, online, markets don't have that sense of geography. There is no geography. The words have to do much more heavy lifting. It's not the case that putting local search aside and saying, Camden Town local to try and find the address of a market's one thing, but when you're actually trying to find something to buy, the actual words themselves become much more important, and the markets start forming around the words themselves. And that's why we believe that markets reveal themselves through words, especially online, something that will make a lot more sense as I'm going through this. So think about it in terms of the words people use online indicate their thoughts, their needs, and their wants. When someone puts collapsible shot glasses into Google, they're expressing a need, they're expressing a market that they want to be a part of, they want to buy something from or give content to. And that's just a really important idea to think about. Buyers themselves use words to get what they want. The sellers use words to attract the buyers. So another key idea that words themselves are the bridge between the buyer and the seller, between the customer and your business. Just think about words online as a bridge. You've got buyers, you've got sellers, and they are the connectors. They do much more work online than they do offline in a casual conversation. So think about it. As a buyer, when you're online, you have many, many options. You can go to Google, eBay, Money Supermarket, whatever. You have control, you have power there. So let's say that I'm interested in piano lessons. I, as a buyer, have a choice and a freedom over the words I use to get those piano lessons. I could use piano lessons, or I could use how do I buy piano lessons or piano lessons course. But let's say I choose piano lessons. I, as a buyer, decide which words to use. The seller also chooses which words to attract the buyers. Now, this is a really important idea, because if you use the wrong words for your market, the customers won't find you. Now, people use wrong words for their markets all the time. They just make stuff up. They guess. They think, I think people want this. And they fill their websites up with words they think people want, and they wonder why they don't get any business. And the reason is because they're using the wrong words for the market. The customers can't find them. If you use the language that people actually use in the market and in your website, then you become more visible. So try and think in terms of visibility. It's not a bad thing if you're invisible. You just won't get much traffic. It might not be that important to you. but visibility is key if you want to connect. So I come back to this idea that words are the bridge between the buyer and the seller. Just try and think of that bridge concept. Let's take the 3 big questions for a seller. We get this quite a lot in Word Tracker. The 3 big questions are, how do I find a big and profitable enough market? I'm going to leave this alone for this presentation. Suffice to say that you can use keywords to work out how big a market you should choose. If you choose a market as big as weight loss, it could be too broad and you might not be able to penetrate. If you choose a market like pink iPhone 3 batteries, it may be too small a market to target. But using the keywords and the data that keywords provide allows you to choose a big enough market that is also profitable enough. Leaving that aside, once you have a market chosen, you have to decide what content you should create for your website in terms of articles and blog posts and so forth. And also, how do you structure your website to get the most targeted traffic? These are the things you're thinking about when you're actually creating a website. So what are the sticky words that you can create your site with? We've already thought about the idea of the bridge connecting buyers and sellers, but how do you find those words which are sticky, like flypaper, that you can create your content around? Because the stickiness attracts the customers to your site. You can't just write any old content and throw it up there and expect people to come. It's not the way it works. You want to think in terms of sticky content, sticky words. Stickiness is key, which is why we think in terms of key words. Let's take a market, for example. This is the market for coffee machines. I got that from Google Images. Let's think now in terms of what the sticky keywords are from a seller perspective. Now, I say keywords are like a specific type of words which deliver higher levels of targeted traffic to your website. They're the kind of words that usually lead to more conversions and more profits. They're not just words, they're key words for your business. And I like the idea of stickiness because it makes you think of what's attracting buyers to you. Now, we have 4 criteria in Word Tracker for selecting these high-performing, sticky keywords. And they are as follows. Traffic tells you that, the more people that search for the keywords, the more popular that keyword is. You've got to have some sense of search volume. Otherwise, there's nobody looking for what you're selling. If you've got a keyword with no searches, no one's going to come. So traffic is the first of the criteria for high-performing, sticky keywords. The second is relevancy. Words have got to be relevant to your content. If you've got a site selling iPhone cases, but you're writing articles on Brad Pitt, you're not relevant. There's no point. The third is competition, and that's the number of web pages optimized for that keyword. We have a loose measure of competition in Word Tracker called the in-anchor and title, which measures how many times a keyword appears in the title tag of a web page, your on-page SEO, and also the keywords of the incoming links, like your off-page SEO. So we do that, we give you that information as part of the Word Tracker data. And that's competition, a loose measure of the number of web pages optimized for a keyword. And fourth, commerciality. Where is your visitor in the buying cycle? How commercial are these words? Without these 4 perspectives, you don't have high-performing keywords. Keywords that are working for your business. Excuse me 1 second, I just need some water. So, traffic, relevancy, competition, and commerciality. Let's just talk about the buying cycle for 1 second. How many of you here are familiar with the keyword buying cycle? Just put your hands up. 2 people in the entire crowd know about the keyword buying cycle. Sure? For sure? Okay. The buying cycle is it's a thought process we all go through when we're looking for stuff online. It starts with awareness of what you're looking for. So you're aware that you have a need. You want to be part of a market. You want to find stuff. You then get interested. You start to do a few searches. You then do some research on your favorite topic, and then you're in buying mode. And at that point in buying mode, you're ready to purchase. You're actually fully in the market and engaging. That bridge is opening up between you, the buyer, and the seller. And then finally, you might look around for reviews of your favorite service. And we know this as sellers. We know that there's certain buy keywords that we can target. Let's look at an example of a keyword buying cycle. So, for example, let's say you want to take a break. I myself have just come back from a break for 3 weeks, so feeling good. I would look up city breaks, for example, and then I would zone down on the city that I was interested in as I refine my keywords. I put in Paris city breaks, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to go to Paris for 3 days. I need to stay somewhere, so I'm looking up Paris hotels. Finally, I settle on Crown Plaza Paris. And then once I've found the place that I'm looking for, I might look on TripAdvisor or do Crown Plaza Paris review and find it on TripAdvisor, say. But I'm going through a buying cycle, and as I get closer and closer to my buying keyword, you'll find that actually there's very, very few people here, but these are highly targeted words that are very high performing and high value. So people will tend to focus their content around these words because they will convert better. There's a lot more people at the top of the funnel here, but they are less converting at that point. And there's no problem with targeting content at either point, but you just got to know what type of people are at each stage of this buying cycle. And then you tend to use those keywords and focus your content to make it visible and sticky depending on where you are in that buying cycle. For example, if you take Paris city breaks, that's at a particular point in the buying cycle. And so you would target and write your content to make it sticky for that kind of customer. Now, a high score in each of those 4 criteria means that a keyword is a high-performing keyword and not just any old keyword. Now, can anyone here remember the 4 categories? And anyone who gets this right and is listening, I will give 1 year free word tracker to. So who can answer that question? What are the 4 categories or criteria for a high-performing keyword? Okay, well done, mates. Very good, so you got it. Give me your card afterwards and I'll give you a free 1 year subscription to Word Tracker. That's right. Traffic, relevancy, commerciality, competition, and that's because you wrote it down, right? Okay, excellent. So, without strengthening these 4 criteria, you just have a word. You don't even have a keyword. And remember that words by themselves, like and, if, or the, but, they don't convert and they're not profitable. You're looking for the high-performing keywords, and that's the whole point of doing any kind of keyword research. So, that actually explains why if you do a search for cat on Google, you don't see any AdWords. At least this is my theory for it. I don't think cat scores very highly in any of those 4 criteria. I don't think there is much. Well, there's plenty of traffic, and you can certainly have relevancy, but I don't think there's any commerciality. And there's not much competition either. So, well, I had to add this slide in. Cats are cute. We like cats. All right, let's move on. That was totally irrelevant. Now, what is the traditional source of keywords? Traditionally, when you search for keywords, you tend to use search terms from keyword tools like Word Tracker and also from Google. This is Word Tracker on the left and Google on the right. Now, what you do is when you find those words, you then layer more data to find the high-performing keywords ones, the ones with the most potential. And if you remember the traffic, the relevancy, the commerciality, the competition, we add that data in to Word Tracker to give you the volume, competition, and so forth. We don't have commerciality yet, but that is coming. So we're layering on this extra data to help you sift through the words to find the keywords. There's one thing I want you to get here is that words by themselves aren't enough. Words need to become keywords, high-performing keywords, for you to have any chance of actually getting targeted traffic and conversions and sales. This is a key point. And you need a lot of search data. We've got over 15 years worth of keyword data. We have around 3.5 billion searches a month, 350 million unique keywords and counting. Anyway, that's the plug over with. The thing is, when you just use search data, like you just enter your search term into a standard keyword tool. And do people use keyword tools here? Are you familiar with what keyword tools are? I see lots of nodding heads. Okay, so this is a common idea. This is good. So the problem with using search data is the results are quite narrow. So if you enter coffee machines, for example, into our tool, you get back coffee machines, commercial coffee machines, espresso coffee machines. They tend to revolve around the word that I've put in, coffee machines. But it's quite narrow information, and it's useful as far as it goes, but it's not enough. The other problem is that Google has recently turned the lights out on search data. They've, I think in 2011, Google introduced HTTPS, or secure search, which means the incident of not provided as a keyword in your Google referral stats is increasing. Notprovidedcount.com has got a graph showing you how much that has increased over time. And I think if you look at your analytics now, there isn't much keyword traffic being referred. So that Google has literally turned the lights out on keyword referral traffic. We need other ways of getting this keyword market intelligence. So this is what I propose as a solution. And coming back to the name of this talk, think outside the search box. And as you can see, we put, this is where your keywords used to be, to show that Google's turned the lights out. Now, my proposal is this. Think less about search data and more about where to find the words that matter. Think about it in terms of words that matter, not just search data, which is a very narrow way to find your keywords. Think about broadening out and finding words that matter. We believe that these words that matter can come from anywhere. They can come from search boxes like Google, but they can also come from YouTube, from Facebook, from blog posts, from Twitter. Keywords themselves, words rather, are everywhere. Every word on the internet is a potential keyword. Anchor text in links could become keywords. Every web page is full of words. Every Google search, every Twitter page, description tag, title tag, they're all full of words. There's plenty of words that you can mine. So how do you go about getting those words and finding the keyword data inside them? Well, we're proposing a new Chrome tool plugin, a free Chrome tool plugin called Scout, Word Tracker Scout. It's free. And this is a snapshot of what it looks like. Scout allows you to uncover the true language of your market. So think about it. Previously, you were typing words into a search box and getting results. Now you can use any website on the internet to pull words in and uncover real valuable keywords from them. And Scout allows you to do that. And I'm going to give you an example. We'll start with a keyword tool example. So we have coffee machines with the narrow data that we were talking about. And now let's do a Google search for coffee machines. You can see there's several results underneath. That's just a straight search for coffee machines. If you then click on the Word Tracker Scout Chrome plugin, what comes up is a word cloud from all the words that were on that Google search page. And remember, you can do this for any web page, not just Google search page or any website, but any page. I just happen to be using a Google search page here. This word cloud consists of all the words on the page that are relevant to that page. And at this point, we're just talking about words. And you have a slider here. You can actually pull more or less information from that page depending on what you want to use it for. You might decide to run a Google ad campaign, in which case you might need fewer, more relevant words. Or you might want to pull the slider to the right and pull many more words from the page and use them in like a Twitter ad campaign where you need a lot more data. The point is you have control over how much words you want to suck from the page. Also on the right-hand side here, there's a toggle between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can actually turn off and on how many words you actually want. So in this case, I've turned off the 1 words, the 4 words, and the 5 words, leaving just the 2 words and the 3 words. So I'm now mining and sifting through all that information on the page to find that relevant information. You can then see all that information in tabular form. So for example, here, number of words, our small kitchen appliances. The relevancy shows you how relevant those words to the page are in the title tag, description tag. So you tend to find the words that people are actually targeting, not just words which are randomly on a page. And here's the kicker. We then take those words and we send them through to Word Tracker to add all those extra dimensions that we were talking about to try and find the high-performing keywords. So in this case, you can see search volume, competition, and what we call opportunity, which is a ratio of how high search volume is compared to the competition. In this case, we've sifted the keywords right down to small kitchen appliances, coffee machine reviews, bean to cup. These are all words that you wouldn't necessarily get from just going through a keyword tool. And I show another example here where I've turned all the words on, and on that page you can see the Argos, Home, Asda. These are the ones that are actually the most relevant but also have the highest volumes. You see we've gone from words and we've pulled out the keywords on that page. You're then able to save all those keywords into a Word Tracker account, and sift them and do all that for you. The key idea here is that you're letting your competitors do the research for you. It's not just a case of you going out and figuring it out yourself and guessing. You're letting the competitors, your competitors, do the research for you. Before I showed you a whole search result page from Google, well, let's take one of the competitors on that page. The third competitor down on that page is Amazon. So we go through to Amazon and we can see a standard Amazon results product page, but there's plenty of useful keywords on those pages. You can see I can pull all these words out of that page, and dragging the slider left and right will pull more or less words. There's lots of useful stuff there: coffee, kitchen, small kitchen appliances, and you can see this tabular list starts to zone in and pull out the most relevant words. Small kitchen appliances being right at the top, which I think is really interesting. And here, when we push it through the word tracker keyword data, you can see that small kitchen appliances, we'll forget the top one because that's more relevant to Amazon, but small kitchen appliances looks like a high-performing keyword. You see how we've sifted that out, like we're sifting for gold. Also notice that you can choose which territory you want. At the moment, we have over 200 territories worth of search data. So, going back to the slide earlier, the problem with using just search data is the narrow results. And now you can see that we can get not just the coffee machines and commercial coffee machines data, we're starting to get real keywords like small kitchen appliances, Nescafe Dolce Gusto. It's a whole new range of keywords that you're pulling from competitors' websites, your competitors. And finally, when you pull that Amazon data into its own list, you can pull it into Word Tracker's own system. You've got two lists there, the Amazon list and the Google General list I showed you before. And then finally on this Word Tracker page, you can see that we've added all the relevant data to help you mine that information. So you can actually go to every single competitor's website, maybe 20 of them, pull that keyword information in, and then sift and sort it all once it's inside Word Tracker. In this case, you've got the search volume, the competition, the in-anchor and title competition I told you before, and the KEI, which is a measure of the opportunity or how much search volume there is compared to the competition. And just by way of example, this is a Wikipedia page. I just wanted to show you it's not just competitors' pages that you're looking for. You can choose any web page. In this case, it's a Wikipedia page on espresso machines, and again, you can mine the keywords from that page. You could do the same on a Facebook page and look at the Facebook comments and pull out the useful information, or even a Twitter search page. The point is, any web page contains valuable words that you can sift for keyword gold. So the final takeaways are that we believe that markets reveal themselves through words. I hope that makes more sense now in light of this presentation. Words with high traffic relevancy, commerciality, and reasonable competition, the four criteria, they become keywords because they generally lead to more traffic and conversions. That's takeaway number 2. And then takeaway 3 is to think outside the search box. Don't get so trapped into search data that you forget about the other ways you can get data from the web. So think outside the search box to find more high-performing keywords than just using a keyword tool by itself. And then finally, use Scout, our free Word Tracker Scout Chrome toolbar plugin, that was a lot of words, to mine the web and uncover the true language of your market. And that's where to get it from. Feel free to use it. We'd love to hear your feedback. And I will give this chap his free Word Tracker year subscription. Thank you.
So we've got a few minutes. Are there any questions?
Hi, I work for a jewellery company and we do silver and costume jewellery, and we were working with an SEO team who optimised us for the keyword jewellery.
Sorry, could you speak up a little bit? I can't quite hear you.
I work for the jewellery company which do kind of costume and silver jewellery.
Okay.
And we were working with an SEO team which didn't actually work out. They optimised us for the keyword jewellery and got us on the second page, but it didn't convert.
Yes.
Can you kind of give me some ideas why?
Why it didn't convert?
Yes, please.
Yes, let me just collect my thoughts on this. I think if you remember the cats example I gave earlier, sometimes words like jewelry, like cat, they can be very, very high search volume, but they're not necessarily converting keywords. They tend to be right at the beginning of the search funnel. So people who are looking for jewelry may be looking for a very specific form of jewelry. They might be looking for, my brain's gone blank. What you put in your ear. Earrings, thank you. But a very specific type of earrings, like, I don't know, a pearl earring, for example, or something that is very specific that they want to purchase. And jewelry is right at the beginning of that process. So they might be coming to you for information on jewelry and for you to give them that information and allow you to segment that search into, say, pearl earrings. And if you take them through that process, eventually you'll get them to a converting web page, or they're going to go to a competitor's website. I remember a friend of mine did an entire site, an entire cooking site. He thought cooking was a really high-performing keyword. It had tons of traffic. Problem was that, again, that was right at the beginning of the process. So people were putting in cooking, but they weren't buying anything to do with cooking, because they hadn't even got to the point of cookery course or recipes. And people tend not to buy recipes anyway. But he thought, okay, cooking's doing really well, I'm going to target that. But I think that's the reason. All right.
There's another question at the back. Okay, if no more questions, thanks very much.
Cool. Thank you.